Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, Tucson. It is the Fresh Start Show with Dr. Holt. My co-host Tom Cortez is in the building on this morning,
In the house.
and we are
Amen.
excited again for another episode with Fresh Start. We thank all of our partners, all of our listeners that comes with us every Saturday morning
Come
to
on.
be with the Fresh Start Show every Saturday morning at 7:30 a.m. at the 106 The Groove. We are always thankful for our 106 family for allowing us to be here and to be able to give you a good show. We are excited. The next Fresh Start event will be on Saturday, December 16th at the Palo Verde High School, where we are doing the Fresh Start Christmas giveaway and holiday share and partnering with my guy Jeff Sawyer at TUSD. So it's going down. Get your family, get your friends, get Susie, get Ray, Pookie, all of them down at the Palo Verde High School. It's going down that Saturday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. is where it's going to be. So we're going to have food, we're going to have clothes, we're going to have it all. So get down there just for a few hours on that Saturday. We want to put some smiles on our friends' faces. If you are formerly incarcerated, we know sometimes it's difficult to get work and get a job and keep food on the table. And we know the budget might be a little tight. So we most definitely want you and your kids to come on down and get some of those resources so we can make sure we put a few more toys under the tree for you. And we're going to have food boxes with turkeys in it. So come down. You're going to be able to put food on the table as well.
How
Get
cool
some
is that?
some toys. We will have a few bikes donated. So listen, it's going down at the Palo Verde High School Fresh Start Christmas giveaway and holiday share. I told you we're not a one-hit wonder. We just don't do it in October. We
Yeah.
coming back at you, and we're gonna close out the year really, really strong. We want to encourage our brothers and sisters to never quit, to never give up, to never throw in the towel, but to continue to keep pushing on. Never quit. Never take no for an answer. Continue to keep moving forward. We know it will get hard. But let me tell you, life is hard, and you're gonna have to choose your hard.
Come on, bro.
It's
There we go.
hard to stay obese,
Yeah.
and it's hard to go to the gym and work out.
That's right.
So you got to choose your heart. It's hard to be broke and suffer in poverty and not know where your next meal come from. But it's also hard to get out there and grind and build that business and be an
That's right.
entrepreneur. You got to choose your heart. Which heart are you going to choose? I'm going to choose to go to the next level. I'm going to choose to maximize the moment. I'm going to choose to have more joy and happiness. I'm going to choose to let things go in the past so that I can move forward in my future. Listen,
on.
that's what Fresh Start is. Our slogan is that mistakes should only be a life lesson, not a life sentence. So we want you to continue to shake it off and pick up yourself. God has not given up on you, so don't give up on God. We want you to know that you can be anything you put your mind to. So don't quit. You're not an animal. Even though they try to treat you like that in that prison cell, you are not an animal. You're a human. And we want you to prepare for your exit because your exit is coming. You're going to get released. And
That's
that's
right.
why we have Fresh Start, so we can make sure you have the resources and all of the support that you need so that you can bounce back. Listen, so remember that date, December 16th, Fresh Start, Christmas giveaway and holiday share at the Palo Verde High School off Coben 22nd and from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So bring your family, bring a friend, and let's have a really, really good time. All right, we have our co-host in the building. Tom Cortez is in the building. He got a great testimonial that just took place on this week that is life-changing. We keep trying to tell y'all, Fresh Start is a proven product. It is a proven product. It's not theory. We're not doing this by theory. We're doing this by straight up application. It's
not
real.
smoke and mirrors.
No, it's not smoke and mirrors. No abracadabra. No
Yeah.
hocus pocus. It is the real thing,
Amen.
baby.
Bro.
And so we excited.
When they open the door to the courtroom, you expect to see a judge. You don't expect to see a cartoon.
Yeah.
There was a judge there, bro, and there were a lot of people there. And when the judge said, "Is there anybody here from Fresh Start?" and it was like 7-8 hands go up in the courtroom, bro.
Yeah,
And the 7-8 hands went up, and the people that were with them, they were just from ear to ear, bro, just smiling because they were in court.
Yeah.
They were having their day in court.
Yeah.
Every one of them that went before the judge was granted what they were asking
Isn't that
for, whether it
powerful?
was second chance, seal your record, fines, just incredible fines, just wiped away, bro.
Yeah.
You know, but
Praise
made it clear that, listen, you take responsibility, you take care of your restitution, and when you're responsible and accountable, they help you out.
Yeah.
And then went up there after seeing 7 people go up there and getting all of this, and then I go up there and said, "We don't have your paperwork." I was like, "I brought it."
Yeah.
I said, "I don't want a gun. I just want to vote."
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
she said, "We can do that,"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I got my rights restored, bro.
Yeah.
And wow, man, what a day it was. And
So
and,
is Fresh Start real?
Yeah.
is our product real?
Yeah,
What we
oh,
deliver?
man. For the families, it just changes everything, bro, because our whole attitude of going into anything has changed now.
Yeah.
Because we don't have to answer that question. We don't have to look behind us because we're just going forward and we're trying to stay forward.
Yeah.
And man, that's what Fresh Start did. And that day, bro, in the courtroom, it wasn't just on the 6th floor because our friends from Wildland Firefighters, they were on the 5th floor getting their rights restored. So there was another group of people down on the 5th floor from Fresh Start that was getting stuff. It's for real, bro. Everything that we say that we offer, people were getting.
Yeah.
You know, and thank God to our volunteers. Thank God to the county attorney, the public defender, the judges, man. All of those volunteers that come into that court section and spend their day, bro, I can't express what it means that, you know, in 1980, I voted for the first time in my life at 18 years old, and only time in my life.
Yeah.
And now at 62, I'm going to be able to vote for the second time in my life.
Yeah.
That's really cool, bro, because now my voice is important.
Yes.
You know, it always has been.
And you get to vocalize that at the box.
That's right. That's right. And on every issue, I have an opinion.
And that's your constitutional right as an American.
That's right.
Right? And so this is why I took the leap of faith to start this. It's because I knew what God gave me, that it was going to blow my mind. This is way bigger than me. When I listen to the testimonials, I get emotional. I feel some kind of way. Just taking a leap of faith and obeying God. I really believe I'm probably going to be going down as the first bishop of incarcerated ministries. And I embrace that. And because this is my global ministry. Not just my organization, not just my assignment. I've seen the vision what God has given me to deal with incarceration. And last week God showed me that Fresh Start is David and the justice system is Goliath.
Yes.
And
right.
and we're going against that uncircumcised Philistine. We're going against a huge giant of a force as a system. But Fresh Start got 5 smooth rocks.
Yeah.
And a slingshot.
That's right, bro. And I sent out those videos that I sent you, and I sent them on social media. And I had people from states all around the country. How do we get Fresh Start here?
Yeah.
How can we get this offered here?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I said, we're coming.
We're coming. We're coming.
We're coming.
Yeah, we're coming to put a hole in the sand.
That's right. Drive
with
that
our
stake.
flag.
Yeah.
You know, that's probably some of the extra thing we're gonna get is a Fresh Start flag, and we're gonna go and claim territory for what we need to be doing. So, listen, we got a special guest. We're excited. You heard me talk about Fresh Start is holistically Fresh Start, not just cleaning up your past and your legal services. But we just can't focus on the deficit. We got to focus on strength-based building blocks for the former incarcerated, which also means that after we clean up your felonies and your warrants, you know, we need to also give you financial power. You need financial buying power. And one of the big things in America, a lot of people don't know that you can use bank money and investors' money to fulfill your dream.
Amen.
So... but you gotta have credit worthiness for people to want to allow you to have different streams of income, different streams of funding to be able to bring your dreams into reality. So one of those things is, I said, I wanted to make sure we had a guest come in here, and not only did we work on cleaning up your criminal record, but your credit record.
Yeah.
So that you can show that you can have the worthiness to be able to get funding to be able to fund your business. Because we also know is, jobs just stands for just over broke. So I would love for people that have been in prison to come out and think bigger than jobs, think more of career and entrepreneurship, passive income, generational wealth, and that comes by having buying power. So I'm glad that we have our special guest to help us with the credit doctor to talk about and encourage our brothers and sisters who's coming out of prison to not just think about your felony records and your misdemeanors, but think about moving forward and having credit work. So Tom, introduce our guests on today, and let's get into it.
Andrew is the director of the Jeremiah Home, and as part of the program at Jeremiah Home is at a certain point in your progress, you start reestablishing and working on your credit. For most of us that went in at an early age, we never had any idea how to develop, establish, do any of those things.
Yeah.
So we're starting from scratch, and we talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
Rehabilitation? No, habilitation. This man is teaching the gentlemen that are coming out of there how to effectively change their past mistakes and effectively make them more progressive for the future. Andrew Gilbert is the director of Jeremiah Home, but he's also a credit wizard, and we wanted to have him back on the show to do a series of programs talking to everybody about teaching them how to establish credit and how to get it back.
Nice.
Andrew.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank my Lord and Savior for this opportunity to come be a part of something I feel passionately about, what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
And humbled to be able to provide.
Speak more into the mic.
Provide what God has blessed me with in my gift set to give back to the community for those who have been incarcerated, but for anybody who is ready to choose this heart that you mentioned before, right? We all have to find our heart.
Our heart.
All right, and this is just another one. And when we get to that place, when I arrived at that place where I finally was ready to take that leap of faith and look at the financial wreckage and begin that journey, can God continue to show up and show me that I am that new creation?
Yeah.
So in spite of my past, it does not have to define any limitations that are in my future.
Yes.
Right. And so over the 25 years that I have been teaching credit education, assisting in credit reparation, and the over 10,000 customers we've been blessed to service, everything comes down to the same: when are we ready? See, I firmly believe as men and women of Christ, we are all capable of anything as new creations. But until we become ready and make that step, can things change?
Yeah.
So we're here to match that effort. We're here to provide those resources so that people understand that in spite of any mistakes or any irresponsible behavior that we exhibited during our time through the addiction or through poor decision making that led to loss of our freedom, loss of our family, and started this incredible broken financial way in which we saw life, it is possible to turn it around. Because how far the credit reporting has changed, like I mentioned this earlier before the show started, that over the last 20 years, there's something for everybody. It's about the timing of when you decide to act on it. So the first thing is to know that, one, free credit reports are available to everybody. And that can be found on annualcreditreport.com. Everyone by law, through the Fair Credit Reporting Act, is entitled to see their credit from the three agencies, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Doesn't cost anything other than the effort to fill in the information, to access it and print it out. And that is typically what we do initially when we sit down with someone, so that we get a quick view to determine what's out there and then confirm that which belongs to you. And then from there, we begin formulating a plan and walk alongside you to hold you accountable along the way so that we can enjoy the journey of recovery together. But again, it's up to the individual who's ready and is ready to make that commitment. the blessing that God has placed in my heart for the last 6+ years is God had put in my heart to use this corporation, this company that has blessed me greatly, to now use it to become that extravagant giver to God, to give it at cost or for free. We're willing to match the effort. This isn't about profit-driven.
Yeah.
This is purpose-driven. Same principle behind Jeremiah Home is the same principle behind Credit Doctor.
So, Andrew, let me ask you, because I know our time is going short. This show goes fast. Just to hit some good points for our listeners. What are some of the greatest challenges that you're seeing with formerly incarcerated individuals coming out dealing with credit? Is it low FICOs, outdated errors on credit reports that need to be deleted?
Great question, my friend. The biggest hurdle is the fear they have to face it.
Okay.
I mean, we come out of there, bro, and the first thing we're thinking, we got to get a chunk of money.
Yeah.
Because first and foremost, we got to get an apartment. That's first, last, and security.
Yeah.
Correct.
You got to have furniture. You got to have food. You got to have utilities. Where am I going to get a chunk of money in order to take care of all of this? How am I going to hustle this? Because you're coming out of the joint with this mindset.
Yeah.
You know, I want to start where I left before I lost everything, right? Because I worked for it once. I shouldn't have to work for it again. It should be there for me. So I can't, for me.
Yeah, typically it's fear, because what ends up happening is, depending on the length of the incarceration, not to say that the more time you do, the better off you are, because that time that passes sometimes works for you, because things start to disappear or they're easier to remove. And so it's never as bad as you think it was, because the enemy will always convince us of that which doesn't exist. And so anytime I'm working with somebody who's been newly released or is at that point, it works out to be the same. It's never as bad as they think it is. And the sooner we can identify what needs to be addressed that's real and what needs to be removed, because it's the way society is, or medical collections, things that just continue to hang like a poison on the credit report, but they're easy to remove if you know how to do it. And that's what we're here for. To clean the credit.
So, Andrew, tell me, what's Andrew's checklist? Where do we start?
We start with
boom.
The first thing is that we start with being willing to fill out the paperwork to order the 3 free credit reports. Upon that, after review, we set up a face-to-face appointment to review and confirm all the information that's before us.
Okay.
And then 3, to have that honest conversation about what it's going to take and the time frame in which it's going to take it. And are you willing to make the commitment? If the answer is yes, we move forward. If you're not sure, that's okay. We'll come back and revisit. But once that starts, because no 2 credit reports are the same.
Right.
So I look at each credit report to determine the best strategy, assess the time frame, share it, ask for the commitment, and then hold each other accountable along the journey. It's that simple. But it has to start with getting that first credit report.
What's an example of what does it take?
All right, so, and I'll make sure that you have all my information, whether you want to email me or call me or text me. I would say preferably to call me and leave me a message or text me, and I'll get you through the process and send you out the information to fill out the permission for us to do this on your behalf, so that we do everything legally, morally, and properly.
Yeah. And
once that happens, then everything starts to unfold. So obviously the information that you have available, I would say share with your listeners. I can tell you that my telephone number is 520-336-8454. The email address is creditdoctoraz@gmail.com.
Yes.
And from there, we have forms and things of that nature to kickstart this new journey, because it's available. And there's no credit score or credit report that cannot be repaired.
That's right. I agree.
Period.
I agree.
Again, it's all based on the commitment and the determination of the individual in question, because I will always match your effort.
So, in today's society, many Americans are you also got to talk about not only rebuilding, but managing credit, because we also have a lot of people, once they get credit cards, they get sunk into the APRs and the high interest rates, and it's hard for them to dig themselves out. So could you talk a little bit about, after you get blessed with rebuilding credit, you got to be a good steward and manage this well?
Okay, another great question. So while we're in the process of putting together a plan to repair the credit, at the same time, we're educating you on what is going to happen when we're successful. So we start discussing here when we're ready to get your first credit card, here's what that's going to look like, and then educate them along the way on how to properly use that credit card so that we can begin to formulate a credit score. And as we teach them how to keep their balances at a 30% level, make their minimum payment over a few months, then pay it all off. It's about just understanding the algorithm that is written against it and how to utilize it for our benefit. We're not doing anything wrong. We're just looking to take full opportunity that presents itself on how to take someone from a 0 credit score. But at the same time, 20 years ago, you weren't able to use what's called non-traditional lines of credit. So as we're out, we come out of prison, we're working on, rental history, we get a cell phone, that's cell phone. These are things that can be added to your credit report in a timely fashion to help sustain or create a credit score, and build from that will help you when it comes time to get your first apartment or get your first car. Understanding APRs and all that is really just about learning how to read everything before you sign it.
Yeah.
That's what that's about. Instead of just, I got a credit card, it's a $300 limit, thank you. Well, no, because it could be a trap door. There may be a better deal out there.
So let me ask you something. I'm trying to think of all the stuff I know people thinking, don't know how to ask. So I'm trying to think for them. What about when you feel like you're so deep in it and you can't climb out? Could you talk a little bit about the ramifications that come from filing bankruptcy and things of that nature? What does that look like? Because some people think, I got so much debt, I'm going to just go and file bankruptcy and wipe it out. It's just not that simple. There's some other things that come with that in regards to making that decision, 7 to 10 years. So, could you talk a little bit about that as well?
Sure. When it comes to bankruptcy, the laws have changed significantly over the years, where once we were able to file more than once and be able to receive this forgiveness from society and so forth. But in today's marketplace, it isn't the same. It's a lot more strict, and there's a formula that the courts will use to determine whether or not you actually do qualify.
Right.
So from an overwhelming standpoint, most of the time it comes more from an emotional than a numbers.
Yeah.
Right, because everything has a resolution. If we have outstanding balances that, we can hope to file a bankruptcy and then, take the lump for the 2 to 3 years, depending on the type of bankruptcy that you file, and that's another show for another time.
Yeah.
However, but also to learn how to properly contact your creditors and renegotiate a payment plan.
Yeah.
That is a viable option.
Yes.
That's kind of reorganizing your debt, and that requires someone like myself and those who work with me to call on your behalf, because we have the background and the experience to have that conversation, to negotiate a deal that can be paid in a time frame. Because remember, think about it, if someone hasn't been paid in 5 years, they're going to be open to some sort of settlement arrangement because you just went from...
Or come after you with civil. Sometimes.
But it depends if it's a secured or unsecured credit, see?
Yeah.
And a lot of credit today is unsecured.
Yeah.
The stuff that I find that are judgment or collection is typically back alimony, child support, unpaid tax liens, defaulted student loans, a home loan. That's it. Every other credit card is considered unsecured, so it can only go to a collection.
Yeah.
You can never get a judgment against you.
Yeah.
Because the first piece of every credit report discloses all judgments that have been filed and are against you. Whether they turn into garnishment of wages and things, that's different. But for those of us who've been incarcerated, that's a non-issue.
Wow.
So it's really about get the credit report, confirm everything that's on there, and then move forward with a game plan, as I mentioned before. At the same time, educate them about what we're going to do when we're successful, not if we're successful, and then prepare so when that time comes, we move forward with confidence.
We thank you, Andrew, for coming in. We're going to have to do a part 2 because there's
a lot.
Some details, a lot of extra details we need to highlight.
I did my best in the time frame.
I think you did really well. Tom, what's our updates and what's going on?
We got Market Day. Come on out there. We're at an Amphi Bible Church all day up until 1 o'clock today. We got like 50 vendors, a food truck, prizes, and games. Come on out there. Be part of the community. Learn what Tucson's about.
All right, you heard it. Again, Andrew, thank you for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Sharing. I already know you've helped some people. I hope you took notes on going to the website, getting your credit report from all bureaus so you can know what's on there and what shouldn't be on there. So we are excited. We're going to have Andrew come back and do a part 2 because there's a lot of meat on this bone. So we're really excited. So again, we're here every Saturday mornings at 7:30 a.m. at 106 The Groove. Remember, mistakes should only be a life lesson, not a life sentence. Take care. God bless.